Khenpo, you talked about how if we really have a no doubt and a connection to our Yidam deity, that they'll be there for us right away. Um, how do you develop no doubt in your life? I mean, how have you developed it in your personal practice? Because you have amazing courage, so I'm certain you have a lot of no doubt.
It's wisdom.
Good question. I think just only through your understanding, you know. Mm, mm, I think two different ways. You know, one thing is like, for example, like some sort of, you know, Buddhist and some Christian, even though they don't understand very well about their spiritual path, view, but they have just a strongly faith and belief uh, without sort of understanding the reality. They just believe, right? They just very, believe. They just believe. I think that's good. You know, that's good. Even though you don't understand the meaning of the spiritual. One time I went to Chicago, and there were a lady who is really sort of believe God, and Christian lady. We had a talk, and I'm a Buddhist. She's Christian. She's not very open, but you know, I just try to talk, and she's really, really believe in God, and I say, why? What your reason? Uh, but she just doesn't understand, but very strongly, very strongly. So I think if you have that kind of um, sort of, I call it like personality, or maybe, I don't know, just like naturally, then something you will get the blessings. And some people have devotion and faith based on their understanding, right? Proof and reason, mostly like, you know, reason. Like, for example, me, like everything I believe, I have faith, devotion based on my understanding. Because when I was 7 years old, I studied Buddhism, philosophy, everything. So at that time, I didn't believe anything, right? No, right? But you know, and after that, I understand more and more and practice, and then sort of that's kind of, you know, we call it confident faith. So both, I think these both are good. Both are good, because if you, the main point is you just believe 100%, then something is uh, really there or not, you will experience good things from it, you know. Otherwise, some people are like, oh, I just believe because my parents told me this and that when I was young.
What about a combination of things? Buddhism welcomes investigation.
Well, that's not what do you mean combination?
For instance, I base conclusions on personal experience, facts, information, research, consultation with other knowledgeable people, and deduction.
Yeah, that's perfect. You know, I mean, that's good. That's how you develop your devotion and respect.
So the reason that the blessings come is because when you have devotion or respect for something, you completely open yourself and then make a genuine.
What I'm saying here is like if the person is changeable, then it's you are like it's unstable. That means you have no strong sort of connection. So the best way to develop this kind of confidence and this is your searching, your reason and logic and proof and your experience. That's the best way to develop your faith. Then really doesn't matter what situation you have, what just your mind is really stable. And also with that, it's very important to find sort of authentic view, authentic meditation, authentic conduct. So those three, the essence of your path, spiritual path. If you really strongly believe in something, and that sort of not really the genuine view, meditation, conduct, then there is no genuine and authentic liberation. So liberation is the result, right? So it's you have to perfect. They called in Tibet called Ye Lam Jiva. Ye means the foundation, the ground. Perfect foundation is so important. Perfect path is so important, and then perfect result. So if your foundation is wrong, then you have also wrong. You will get the wrong result, right? Wrong path. Temporarily, you believe very strong and very good, something comfortable and precious things will bring in your life, but long-term goal, there is no authentic liberation because you're fundamentally misunderstanding or wrong, sort of taking the wrong path. So then result will be a little bit problem, right? So I think you need to sort of develop your devotion and trust through understand the Dharma. So whatever you practice, Vajrayana, Mahayana, you have to sort of understand the most important is first when we practice Buddhism, for example, non-Buddhist investigate Buddhism, how they investigate. First, what is the foundation? What is the path? What is the result? And what they have a proof, whether it is authentic or not, right? So that's you have to. So it's take time, but it's fine. But I think it's very important, especially if you practice like deities, Buddhas like this, Vajrayana. Uh, it's very important to develop devotion, which means like you have to trust yourself, develop devotion yourself. Vajrayana actually, according to Vajrayana teachings, actually talking about ourselves only. The nature of ourselves, the relative, the point of view, how this our life and ultimate, the nature of our life. So they're talking about that. So you have to believe that. You have to devotion. You have to trust yourself. And they said, if you really understand and meditate, you find perfect Buddha on your mind. Buddha is nothing outside, inside there. So you have to believe that. In order to believe that, when you meditate, for example, love and compassion, bodhicitta, all of that, you have to investigate your mind. Your mind is still same or change, or you have experience, or what? The Buddhism actually talking about mind, but not just mind. Buddhism talking about your mind, nothing else. So it's very easy actually when you meditate about Buddhism, listen the teachings and bring that teaching, put it into your mind. It is whether it is true or not, because you have a capacity to investigate, right? Your mind. Buddhism is not talking about not talking about someone else's mind.
But that's the key. Buddhism welcomes investigation.
Yeah, talk about your mind. And Buddha said, investigate your mind. So that's not something difficult to understand, right? Buddha let sort of investigate your mind through his teaching. So think about the key, the foundation Buddhism, the teaching is bodhicitta. First they say, listen to the Dharma, and then practice the Dharma, right? And your practice Dharma must be motivated by what do you call it? Bodhicitta, right? Which is love and compassion. Sometimes you call it like altruistic aspiration, or what do you call it? That's we call it. Buddhism is bodhicitta. Because without bodhicitta, that is if person's motivation is, for example, like selfish.
But let me give you an example. It was looking for truth that led me to the Buddha. It wasn't anything else.
Truth, yes. We're talking about mind is the truth nature. Two different truths we have to understand. Relative truth, ultimate truth. Both relative truth, ultimate, both equally important to understand. People think, oh, relative truth is like everything. It's like our confusions, diluted. It's not important. Important is the ultimate truth. That's not true. If you don't understand the meaning of relative truth, never ever impossible to understand ultimate truth. So they both truth. They called, Buddha said, both truth. Relative is truth, ultimate is truth. So both equally important to really understand. So that's relatively, we have to develop a love and compassion, which is, taking care of not only ourselves, taking care of everybody, because we all share. This is what we call common karma, we call it. You're all human beings. All beings here equally share that want happiness and don't want suffering. Common karma, that's what we call it.
So, Khenpo, this isn't sort of an off-the-wall question.
Yay.
Is it better to, or maybe better isn't even the right word, but to practice and wish with and have the intention for the happiness of all beings. Is it better to be sitting and doing that, or is it better to be going out into the world and actually helping people, you know what I mean, in a physical kind of way?
Yeah.
Is one better than the other? Or?
Well, no, it's a good question, but I think it depends your capacity. If you have a capacity to help others, uh, then better. It is better than just sitting and thinking and correcting your motivation, right? If you don't have a capacity, then I think first you have to prepare well, which means like through this is analytical meditation. When you practice bodhicitta, thinking about all sentient beings, and then also put them in your position. They exactly want exactly what you want, which means like happiness. And then if you really develop that from your heart and understanding, then easy to act, right? That's why we have this, what do you call it, aspiration, application, right? Application bodhicitta, right? Sometimes, one time I was in Nepal. There was a beautiful stupa, very famous, Bodhanath, they call it. Lots of poor people and begging and looking for money. I gave some some, and uh, suddenly, 20, 30 people came, and they fighting each other,
Oh no.
and I kind of also kind of angry. So that understand myself. Oh, I have no capacity to help others.
Well, if you're going to help others, don't you have to know what you're doing? Don't you have to have wisdom?
Yeah, but the first time you have a very, very nice situation.
No,
You have your generosity, everything's out of your compassion, come from your compassion. Oh, I see this poor people. I have some money, and then suddenly the circumstance will change.
Yeah.
No, but don't you have to have wisdom and skillfulness before you?
Yeah, that's why you have to use your skillful or wisdom. If you,
Otherwise, you make the situation worse.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That means you have no capacity, and then don't do it. If you don't have capacity, you make things worse.
Yeah.
How do you know that you have capacity, though? How do you...
When things get worse, you
Of course, you know that. Of course, you know that. That's not. You are not. You are not investigating my capacity. You are investigating your capacity. How much you have a compassion. How much you have a tolerance. How much you have patience.
you have to be honest about that.
So you know that. You know your mind. Actually, capacity is about your mind.
Do your best, right?
Yeah, people say, I will do my best. That's good, right? But
Well, we can't wait till we have complete capacity to do anything. I mean, I know I want to increase my capacity to benefit, but at the same time, I feel like I can't not do,
right. So then we have to prepare that. That's what we call aspiration bodhicitta. You have to prepare that.
So can we engage both is what I'm saying at the same time,
Yeah.
And when we do things, try to set our motivation properly and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So we have no capacity means like most people really everything depends on our what ego. It's very easy to actually see if you have big ego, small ego, medium ego. If you big ego, You have no capacity at all. No, you can. You thinking yourself, not especially if first time you just try to help, but then big ego control yourself. If something come out, then you get angry and it's that's the cause of big ego is cause of attachment and cause of ignorance, cause of grasping. So those three are the foundation of the samsara, the suffering of samsara. So that's why the bodhisattvas have no ego clinging, They only thinking about others, not themselves. Bodhisattvas, no, not themselves. Even like within 1 minute, they don't think themselves. They considered others always 24 hours. How I can help. Whatever happened me, I don't care.
They have no fear.
They have no fear.
They're courageous.
They have no, just bodhisattva. Sattva means courageous. Sempa means like, sim means in Tibet, mind. Pa means like courageous. And, they can sort of be patient. Whatever happened themselves. But we have no capacity that. Right? We always 24 hours thinking only ourselves, not others. Sometimes when we meditate, sometimes we think about others, but not really actively, right? We're just thinking, right? We are just thinking. So we have no capacity. I don't have capacity. That's why the bodhisattvas, they said, if you, for example, you give something, you should first give to your right hand to left hand to right hand. Visualize this is one person, this is one person, this is yourself, this is one person. You give these things here, like you develop that slowly, and then also give others like small, not precious things. Because the people have problem is like first you give lots of things and then you have sort of big expectation from that, and then you didn't get back something, then you're giving up.
You mean if you give something, you're expecting something back?
Expecting something back. That's not bodhisattva's, what do you call it, generosity.
Like even expecting gratitude.
Exactly. Yeah, expecting many things like name, famous, reach, or even like words.
How do you reduce the idea of someone who gives, an object that's given, and someone who receives? How can you actually merge those and reduce the three spheres? How can you work on doing
Three what?
How can you work on reducing such a strong concept of someone who gives something that's given and someone who's receiving what's given? Because that's what you're just talking about. If you give something with expectations, it means that you actually see yourself as being separate or different than the other person. So how can we reduce?
No, the first you have to understand how important this person.
So you cherish them.
And cherish them. And second thing is diminish your attachment to this property or whatever you give. It's not easy. It's not easy. Don't do it if you don't have capacity. Don't do it. The best way is, it's very important, first take care of yourself. Means like be compassionate. Try to practice bodhicitta. Try to sort of become a good person. That's what Buddha said, that if you don't have capacity, at least don't harm others. That's we can, right?
Well, being neutral would be a step.
Neutral is, yes, good, but best way is don't harm others.
No, but I'm saying that neutral would be a step on the path.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So don't harm other means like, physically, verbally, mentally. Those things we have to first really develop, right? That's why we're meditate and sort of mindfulness, what we are doing. Always be aware of our action. Action is really good one. Action is big words, contains so many things. Verbal action, physical action, mental action. So always be aware of our action.
You're creating karma.
What you are doing, yeah? What you are doing. You just need to know that.
Khenpo Jetsun Khandro Rinpoche told a story in in one of her teachings that when they studied the paramitas, all the nuns would get inspiration and go give everything away. And then they would realize later that they didn't have anything, and then they'd go back and start asking everyone for their things back. So she said, be careful of your inspiration too, to think things through before you start giving everything away and trying to help people, make sure you thought about it.
Yeah.
So can you teach some time at equanimity?
Equanimity, yeah. Equanimity is so important. First, you have to meditate on equanimity. Not love, not compassion, right? First, you have to meditate on equanimity. In order to meditate on equanimity, you need to understand that all living beings want happiness, don't want suffering. Everybody is equal. Animals, human beings are equal. We can't eat them, right? We are equal. They need freedom. We eat them because we are thinking on our happiness. We don't care. Usually, right? We are good, but usually people in the world, they don't care animals. They think animals
Species bias.
for our what do you call it? Our pleasure, or our pleasure, right? We just ignore their happiness. So
But Lama Dorji has no food restrictions.
some people really like to eat animals half died, half alive, right? That's kind of, what is that, like, no, like I saw it's
Don't tell the story again. I want to go like this.
yes, we need to know those kind of things.
It's painful to listen to it. I'm just being honest, but it's very painful when he tells the story.
It's not just a story, it's a real story though.
I know.
But you know what? You said that about the story. And it's really easy for us to say, oh, we don't want to hear about, the monkey or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we're very easy to go to the hamburger store or
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, it's kind of part of what you're saying is that, well, are you going to really have compassion for everyone and all beings, or are you just going to be a little bit selective?
Exactly. Yeah. You have to just, first you have to need to understand the situation. I think for me, myself, it's really helpful if I think about all living beings, not only human beings, all living beings want happiness, don't want suffering. That's, I think, there's no reason, no proof, no logic. I can understand that easily, right? I don't never think that, oh, human beings really want happiness, but animals, they just don't care. Some animals, they want suffering. I never think that. It's just because of, on my experience. It's same thing. So if I sort of develop that sort of thought strongly, then it's prevent my desire to harm others.
Well, if you saw what went on in industrial food production, that would increase that.
Yeah. For example, I love eat meat, you know. When I was young, it's just that's the only we have in Tibet that time. Difficult to find vegetable, not like here. Here it's not necessarily to eat food, meat, you know. You have so many different. But when we eat, like for example meat, and then not only the think about the tasting, you know, think about how this come from, how they died, or something like that. That's you know, then I lost the taste, you know, when I eat something not fun. So I think I mean why we are talking about these things, you know. But you know, I think it's just try to sort of, you know, develop their bodhicitta, because you know I kind of believe that without bodhicitta, that is you know, if person's motivation, whatever they do or think, you know, everything sort of I think based on selfish without bodhicitta, then I think no matter how much you practice the dharma or how much you try to help others, it cannot sort of, you know, um, sort of develop and destroy our sort of selfish, this the idea, you know. Um, Based on whatever we do, based on our selfish, we make sort of different between very big sort of gap, you know, between ourselves and others, because you know we always believe that ourself is much important than others, right? We always think that. That's just naturally habit in our mind. So that is known as we call ego cleaning.
Excuse me, but Rinpoche, Khandro Rinpoche used to tell us that to find compassion, if you can take yourself out of the equation, you're much more able to see what is compassionate, and that was a really helpful thing to just X yourself out, and then compassion kind of finds itself there
Mm-hmm.
without you being the director.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I think today is we're talking about the Mahayana's teachings, Mahayana's views, you know. So according to Mahayana's teaching, uh, the bodhicitta is very important. Bodhicitta is much more than sort of just a compassion. Actually, the combination of the love and compassion, or all this, you know, because you know Mahayana's point of view, the selfish is the problem. Selfish or this ego is, they first try to diminish ego, or we call it sort of, you know, the dualistic grasping, right? It's kind of, you know, that's we call the mind. And if you have that, then everything, you know, this grasping, you know, becomes sort of very stronger, right? And then of course your ego mind also becomes stronger and sort of habitual, you know. So we sort of develop this sort of, you know, ego habitual, and then the problem is we love our side, you know, our things, our possessions, you know, and then we say I, me, right? So that's I think based on our ego, and verse to you, yours, right? This is yours. This is not mine. Then we always want something, right? We always want something. This is mine. I want this. That's we call it attachment. So bodhisattvas, the Mahayana practitioner, they don't have that. Bodhisattva, for example, they have something, like they have something, It's also yours, they think. You have it. You can have it. No problem. They have no sort of, really attachment to the things. This is mine. You can't have it. So we can do that, right? This is mine. So I'm talking really, maybe this is too much, but we have to, slowly sort of develop step by step, I'm talking this, if once we have attachment towards our things, and then our anger start to develop because of the attachment. Because we don't care, right? We don't care others. And that, sort of from that arises the anger.
We're afraid of losing something.
Losing something, all that things. So, so what do you think? What is the first? We are babies, So what is the first step we need to? What do you think? According to Buddhism, there are so many good foundations and help our life. What kind of meditation you take first?
Calm abiding.
Calm abiding. What that helps your life or others? How you start that?
Tonglen.
I think Tonglen, yeah. I think Tonglen.
Loving kindness.
Yeah. So whatever you think, oh, this meditation is the best. For me, you should meditate on that until you reach there. So different people have different personality in thinking. Like he said, calm abiding is better. You said Tonglen is better. He said love and kindness is better. So it's.
I wasn't saying one is better than another, but it seems like calm abiding is a foundation.
Foundation, yes, because make your mind is really stable, right?
But I think the motivation is the foundation.
Motivation is the foundation. There you go. Yeah. There you go. I think that's really true. I believe always. That's why I always say please correct your motivation. Whatever you do, actually, spiritually or mundanely, the worldly, everything depends on your motivation, I think. Even though Buddhist point of view, if you kill a person, it's not necessarily is a bad thing. It depends your motivation.
Well, aren't there times when it's okay to kill someone?
If you have a pure motivation, no problem. You can kill.
No, I'm saying if someone's going to kill multiple other people, and you're saving multiple other lives from someone that's sick or deluded.
See, we can't judge. We can't say, oh, that's a bad person because he killed these people.
So it's never okay?
We can't say because it depends the motivation that person's.
it's never acceptable to kill?
If the person's motivation based on selfish and ego, even like you killed a bug, insect, it's evil. If the motivation is totally 100% for benefit
You're
others,
saying it depends on the motivation.
sin, that's
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah, right.
Let's say he said the foundation is the motivation.
Okay.
So most people really don't understand that. Buddhist point of view, oh, you can't kill because you're Buddhist. Well, it depends your motivation. Buddha said that.
Also, you just used the term evil. Usually in Buddhism, the term is ignorant or deluded.
Ignorance is the kind of your affliction, right? Tara, go back to Tara.
Tara, rescue me, please.
Yeah. So, what things? So one thing I have sort of strong and important sort of I have a sort of recommendation that you should practice Tara. Those people who are not practicing, the preliminaries. Because Tara is very good for ordinary people who has lots of sort of obstacles. It's not good sort of, motivation, but I think we should start that way. You understand Tara, right? Relative level, ultimate level. So the most important is if you practice Tara, for example, first is the benefit, for example, like on your sort of your own development and the spiritual path. You develop your sort of view, your meditation, right? That's the first benefit. And second benefit, of course, if you practice Tara with sort of pure motivation, then this practice is for really helpful, not only yourself, benefit of also others, right? And third practice is like you are the sort of, what do you call it? If you practice Tara properly, correctly, then you sort of continues and you servant, actually you servant the Dharma in in the world, And also I believe that and more importantly, if you practice Tara, is I totally believe that you accomplishing good health and sort of long life. That is actually her motivation. Um, Usually people say that the long life depends healthy and long life depends uh, healthy food and exercise and of course yes, that's but not more than that, actually more than that, which is mentally the most important is like um, if you have sort of happy mind, much better, physically too. Some people told me that, you look so young, like 30s, 20 like years old. But I believe I have very healthy mind. That's for sure. On my experience, like I'm not enlightened being, but in my mind there is no worries, no stress. So I think that makes my body also like sort of really being very healthy. So I think physically, of course, important to have good food and exercise, but mentally, I think very important to practice, meditate, right? So that's the most important. That's why, if you practice Dara, um, um, healthy and long life.
Khenpo, is there any specific reasons why, we talked, I think the last time you did this teaching about people are sometimes attracted more to certain taras, like the green tara versus the white tara versus red tara. Is there any specific reason that people should practice one over the other?
No, that's why we already talked, right? So it's different. Our sort of personality.
Just personality.
Yeah, so that's why these deities, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas manifest in different forms, different universe, right? Because of one Buddha cannot help everyone. That's just impossible, because that's same thing. Like one Buddha said that one teaching also cannot help everyone. We need so many different teachings.
Are there 84,000 different teachings?
Yes, we have different teachings. Also, we have lots of this. I really, respect all different religions, because not necessarily I believe they have uh, good sort of liberation path, but they can help countless people. So that's, I think, the point, right? So we have a different religion, different teachings. Even though inside Buddhism, we have like Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, so many different sutras, tantras, so many different teachings. Why? So it depends. It depends, like bigger minds, they like to practice Vajrayana. Middle minds, they want practice Mahayana. Small mind, they want practice Hinayana, like that. So if you have a big bowl of water, and then the reflecting of the moon is bigger, right? If you have a small bowl and then of water, then the reflecting of the moon is small. It depends how you think, how your personality. It's clear. Some people has big sort of mind, and always they do and prepare so huge, even though not really success, but they have a bigger mind. I have a small mind. That's why I keep everything simple. I can make sort of prepare or plan sort of, some people they think, I want to control Minnesota. All of people. Some people say, oh no, that's too small. You need states. So it depends. So many, we have sort of different deities, Buddhas. They sort of manifest different ways because of the needs of the according to the people or the suffering beings.
When you're talking about developing the visualization of Tara, and after we do the Shunyata mantra, you called it the mantra of reality. At that point, we're entering into the mandala of Tara, and it's sometimes a different view than we have when we're in our daily life. So how can we take that pure view or that primordial purity that we have when we're visualizing Tara and carry it out past our meditation into the world?
You were not thinking about ultimate level, just to like being.
Well, just how do you think that practicing a deity like Tara, or even any deity in the Vajrayana, changes your view both on and off the cushion? Because part of it is trying to realize that,
Brain, that's what I'm saying. Like, try to even though like when you start this reality, this mantra, um, try to remember the compassion. Bring that whole idea. Actually, the teachings on the ritual of Tara when you meditate, do not practice the ritual without compassion. So bring that compassion into your activity, wherever you go, whatever you do.
Doesn't that happen naturally in a lot of ways? Because
No, it's not naturally happen.
it doesn't. Because when you practice, it seems to me that when you practice meditation, that's part of the benefit. The result is that you become more compassionate, and you.
Yeah, so that's I'm not saying naturally,
Oh, I see. Okay.
because your practice and
I
you
see. Oh, just a result. Oh, okay.
Yeah, result of your practice. Naturally means you don't practice, but it's just
It
comes,
just
happen. That's impossible.
No, I agree with Heather though that progress in the path is a natural process.
Progress.
Of practice.
No.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Well, I
No.
think with the word natural, we're just.
But it's a result of
The
practice.
results of your practice, your meditation. That's why I said, ye lam diva in Tibet. Ye means the foundation. Lam means the path, which means like you take the foundation, take the path, and then the result, you whatever.
You have to do the work.
It's not.
But it's a natural process, isn't it?
I guess my question though had more to do with the fact is does the view come first and then the action and the path changes, or can we actually use the Tara practice to change our view in such a way that we're seeing the world different? So it's arising for us differently. I mean, what's the separation between the view and how things are appearing to us? I guess that's my question. Because I'm not sure that there's such a big separation between how we view things and how things are arising in our life. For example, you came to the United States and I met you, 8 years ago, and my view of you has changed as my understanding of Buddhism has grown. But you yourself, probably within 8 years, are not teaching that much differently. It's just that my view is different. So I'm saying how things arise to us depends on our own view, depends on our own perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we bring like that view that Tara is teaching us? How is she changing our view? I guess is my question. How does this change our view?
Well, it depends on what kind of view you want. You want to see the Mahayana view. You want to see the Vajrayana view, or you just want to see the ordinary sort of the great beings view. It depends what kind of view you want. You can, for example, if you want to see the understand others, then understand yourself, then you have to bring and you have to sort of meditate on Tara that way, sort of, which means like compassion. If you want to see the the Dzogchen view, the Vajrayana views, and then you have to also focus on the reality, the ultimate nature. So it depends. Like even though you want to be successful your business, you can practice that way, but that's not sort of Many people do that according to sort of Tibet. They do that. Oh, I'm going today there and be successful and smoothly. I have to practice this. It's definitely, but it's not the great way to meditate, right?
But you always teach us that the purpose of giving rise to bodhicitta is to recognize the nature of mind, which is enlightenment. So that those two are very close together. That view of practicing compassion is the enlightenment, is the nature of mind. Those aren't separate. So in some ways, you don't have to separate out the Mahayana practice of compassionate Tara with the nature of mind practice, which is more of the Vajrayana or the Dzogchen, right? They can be practiced at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Compassion is in all of Buddhism.
No. Sharing. Compassion is the foundation of all religion. Not only Buddhism, I think. But that's why the compassion is so important.
No, but I'm saying that to emphasize compassion in one branch of Buddhism.
Just generally sort of compassion is sharing. We all share. Great compassion is, I think, only Buddhism. But doesn't matter, maybe you don't know what's meaning great compassion, but it's just a compassion. It's just so important, even though like ordinary point of view and our life, it's so important. So the last section is just talking, and
It always happens, doesn't it?
that's okay. I mean, I'm happy to,
Helps us.
yeah. If you have any questions, just
This is a practical question about the practice itself. I am not remembering now exactly where I'm supposed to be doing the visualization. So when we're starting out,
Well, first visualize the first section, the ritual. It's visualize general sort of Tara herself, and the second section you can visualize the syllables of Tara's, the heart center of Tara herself, right?
okay, so we would be visualizing generation of white Tara. So we would be visualizing here before we do the offering of the 7-limb prayer.
Well, there's many ways. So
this is where you just rest after that one.
Okay.
And then when she appears.
this is when you say, if you're going to practice white Tara using this ritual, when you say this mantra, the all is empty, the mantra of reality. When you say this, if you understand your nature mind, you have to recognize that and just say this one time and then pause for a while, and just you should really be there and recognize the clear awareness of yourself. If you don't understand nature mind, you should think about the compassion when you say this mantra, and try to develop your compassion. And after that, then you can visualize Tara. Understand?
I think so, yeah.
Is there a loom for this practice? Is that necessary?
It's necessary.
I don't believe you've given it yet.
I don't have the Tibetan though. But usually, if you don't have time to go through all of this, you should say this prayer of Tara, right? Egyptian Pogma Dorma Chincheno illustrates Tara, please be aware of me, remove my obstacles quickly, grant my aspirations. This you should sort of recite 100 times. Anything else? And uh, more important, the last is, this is the Buddhist, the foundation, okay? The foundation, first to correct your motivation. Second, you your visualizations. So the visualizations could be outer visualization, inner visualization. So two, right? Outwardly, you visualize Tara just as a female Buddha who has a quality. All of that, we have this. Inner visualization is actually it's like recognize and uh, what do you call it? Inner visualization is actually just understand your nature mind and understand nature of everything. And then last, you have to dedicate. And sometimes we have first, for example, you have to, for example, if you practice Dara, you have to do two things. First is we call development stage. Development stage means like you visualize Tara, everything, her mandala, everything. Not only yourself, also you can visualize your all living beings around you and practice Tara with you, right? So that's what we call it sort of, the development stage. So which is about your visualizations. And the second is very important. Uh, we have the dissolution, what do you call it? It's called completion stage. Yes, completion stage, which is the sort of your visualizations come from the nature of the great emptiness. So now they go back into the nature of dissolve in it. So that's completion stage. So two stages. These are always you have to sort of combine. You can't have one, only one, and then the other. So you have to have both development stage and completion stage. Usually they're not separate, but if we are beginner, then first you develop, you visualize, and then at the end you sort of dissolve into everything, like right. That's we call like into tara into your mind. It's like everything is like becomes emptiness. So that's we call it completion stage, and then dedicate the merit. Okay. So dedication, right? Dedication is another one. It's so important according to Buddhism. It's also with best motivation, because you have done amazing sort of job and meditate, so you don't have to waste that sort of merit. So you have to sort of dedicate that merit and share with all living beings. One thing is if you do this, your merit never sort of uh, what do you diminishes and disappears, and your merit sort of increase until you get enlightenment. One thing is that. Second thing is also you, through that you can develop your compassion.
Khenpo, you can dedicate your merit, right? All the time.
all the time, every day.
Everything you do.
It's not necessarily you meditate. Whatever you do something or thinking something benefit, you should dedicate that merit of all sentient beings.
How? Dedicated how?
That's what I'm saying. Dedicate, uh, based on your motivation, the good, pure motivation. Dedicate this merit, and you should dedicate not only yourself, not only for your business, not only something. You just dedicate all, share that all living beings.
So the deed is automatically dedicated based on your motivation.
That is?
The deed.
Oh, did actions, yep. Automatically? No.
I'm saying isn't that what you said? It's automatically dedicated based on your motivation for the deed.
No, it's not automatically. You have to visualize and share that merit and dedicate all living beings.
Oh, okay.
So say you could be outdoors and you could see a beautiful waterfall and you could wish that everyone could enjoy this beautiful waterfall, and that could be a way.
And you, whatever you see beautiful things, you can offer that to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, whatever, and then dedicate the merit.
So we should be
Buddhism, like wherever you go, wherever you see, everything is your meditation. If you know how to deal with whatever you see, whatever you listen, whatever you hear, thinking, everything is meditation. If you know how to do it.
When they talk about great practitioners where their mind has totally merged with all phenomena, is that what you're talking about just now, Khenpo?
No. It's that's the very high level. But even though like ordinary, whenever you see, like for example, when you go outside and you see something nice, and then you just offer it and then dedicate the merit. That's your meditation. I mean, that's a very good one, right? Okay, now the dedication.
There we go. Nice on that revelation.
Yeah.
Okay, dedication.
Khenpo, I have one quick question for you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but I printed out the long life prayer for everyone to have in Duluth, and it's all in your folders. Since we're doing White Tower practice is so much about longevity and about creating health, if we wanted to include your long life prayer in the practice, would we do it after we dedicate, or will we do it as an aspiration prayer, or where could we put it into this practice?
Oh, that's before the after the bodhicitta prayer.
Okay, so after the Bodhicitta prayer by Shantideva, we would do the long life
Yep.
prayer, and then we do the prayer of the six continuous acts. Can we do that right now?
Sure.
Is that okay? Can everybody find this in their folders?
It's that's long life Jarbati is for
All Buddhas.
all teachers. Okay. There is. Thank you. Okay. May I attain in each and every life sublime virtues of existence, mindful altruism, working for the welfare of others in vast scale. Through this very merit of mine, may every single sentient being eliminate all forms of negativity and practice virtues forevermore. May Supreme Precious Bodhicitta take birth where it has not arisen, where it has arisen, never went, but continue to grow forevermore. 3. In the divine mandala, where all the appears existence is utterly pure, you, the sovereign of the Buddha families and teachers of the Tantras, Matra, to liberate three gates into the Vajrayaksha. Vajra king, may you ever remain. Within the Vajra body, you reveal the mandala of the great bliss of the indestructible three secrets. most supreme of all Lord of the Bajra transmission, Bajra Master, may you remain for 100 years. Through the effortless path you directly reveal, changing self-awareness, the basic space of great bliss, caring for the profound key instruction of profound
Glorious
glorious
Guru, may you remain until the end of existence. Precious successor to the Gurus of the three lineages, may you remain throughout the three times in Vajra form, forever hoisting the great banner of the Dharma of the three lineages throughout the three realms.
May I in all my lives, no matter where I'm born, obtain the 7 qualities of the upper realms of existence. May I make the Dharma immediately after taking birth and have freedom to practice perfectly. May I please the sublime Gurus and I dedicate myself to the Dharma by realizing Dharma and practicing innermost stages. May I cross the ocean of conditions, existence of this life. May I teach the 7 Dharma perfectly and never become a weary and try to benefit the others in samsara by my own impartial and enhancing activities benefit of others. May all attain
enlightenment together.
Thank you very much. Lastly, thank you for the Dilute, the Bodhichitta Sangha, and thank you very much. Great lunch and the volunteers, all of you. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy to share with my understanding about practice Tara. Tara is, we can teach sort of so many ways and Tara and very profound and detailed, but this is just enough. If you really want to practice Tara, you should use that Rachel and beautiful, and I have a very great transmission from my teachers and from my grandfather. I have that statue, the Tara. He found it. This was, he passed away like 30 years ago, probably something like that, when I was young. Anyway, so please practice, okay? Please practice. If you don't practice, nothing can change. If you really want to change your life and become a good person, you have to meditate and practice. That's the key point. And if you have any hesitation, any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to help as much as I can. Other than that, great day, and I'm very happy to have this good opportunity to talk Waitara with all of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Important Buddhist point of view. We have so many different centers and sanghas everywhere. But if you are not sort of harmonious sangha, then what is the point? So we say Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, 3 jewels. So we are include already there. So we are actually people who are suffering, our protector for them. We are the Sangha. Mahayana point of view, individual, one person is also has the quality of the Sangha. And Hinayana, if we have 4 people, then they consider, they called bodhisattvas, and they call the Sangha, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Sangha is the most important. Sangha is actually practicing Buddha's teaching, which is include Dharma is there. Also, Dharma is from the Buddha. So the Sangha is sort of maintain that and serve Dharma to others, and Sangha, so important, be sort of so important, harmonious. It's not only spiritual point of view, but even though like a friendship, another way you can say like Dharma, we say Dharma brothers and sisters. You are not real sort of, Dharma brothers, sisters from one parent, but it's more than that. If you have connect each other, these Dharma teachings, amazing, and these teachings, then we are sort of, brothers and sisters. So important, so important. And whenever you need help, just let me know, and we can help. If you want to teach more, I can. Uh, uh, my motivation is why. My motivation is sort of really always I correct that my modern motivation is not really become a famous, become a rich. If I want, I can do different ways, do these kind of things. But I'm come here, only the motivation is try to sort of help other people. I'm not also looking for people who become a Buddhist, but people who really sort of practice. I strongly believe that, you know, if you really uh, become a good person, you need kind mind. A kind mind only come from your meditation practice. That's the only way. You cannot buy it. You cannot sort of somebody give you. No, you are the responsible for your kind mind. So you have to meditate. So that's why if I can sort of teach and give the instructions from my teachers, and sometimes on my experience, then that's the only I can help others. So also I'm not looking for so many people, even like, one person I want sort of looking for a serious Dharma practitioner, not like just hundreds of people. They're not even though like Buddhist, and they're not even like just want to practice. That's not, that's just, but we need serious Dharma practitioner. So then this is the lineage, right? When we are going to die, and then eventually if we have a good teacher, actually we sort of have a good teacher from you, eventually you can serve and you can help. That's how we do. All my root teachers are gone, but uh, their students right now become a teacher and try to help. So that's the same thing. This is the lineage, right? This is the lineage you come from. So one of my students will also take care of the Dharma and try to help others. That's the point. So another thing is, please come join. Group meditation is very good energy. And one is that. And second is, you should practice every single day if you can. The practice is part of your life. It's like food, Without food, we cannot serve. That's the same thing. Like without practice, we cannot be a good person. That's all. Let's go. Oh yeah, you can.